has to say that Chris apparently is a friend of Lacuna's. We're not quite sure when the next episode of the podcast is this week, but tomorrow is the new episode of Skeleton Crew, and I presume over the next couple of days we're going to be meeting to talk that through and watch it. I think they have like a 3-episode premiere too, so it's going to be like kind of a big chunk of Star Wars just kind of falling out of nowhere. So stay tuned for that. It'll be whatever it is, it'll be like 6 probably. So keep an eye out for it.
Cool. All right. Welcome to Gungans and Dragons, Pirates of Drinax edition. I believe we are on session 19.
20.
20, the big 2-0. And last time when we left off, you guys all managed to get introduced to the wonders of freshly made breakfasts by your temporary hiver guests. You traveled through jump space and have arrived in a new system where you had word that a shipyard that was missing was, and you were going to see about potentially retrieving it. Getting in, at first, there didn't appear to actually be anything within the system, but with some exceptional sensor readings and then some exceptional comm readings, you all managed to find through a very incredibly dense orc cloud a star system that has not been on anybody's star map. So you believe you are potentially, well, some of the first within the system because you have discovered the shipyard in orbit, geosynchronous orbit, of a single habitable moon that is around a purple gas giant that is in turn around this blue dwarf star. Approaching it, you had word of a potential danger from the surface from an automated message, and which warned of death being caused by this ancient weapon from the surface, and then the message just repeats. So you are about, at this rate, half an hour away from the moon itself on approach. The shipyard itself is, again, geosynchronous orbit, which is in turn over a sea that's within the northern hemisphere of the moon.
Wait, can you repeat that last sentence? I want to make sure
Sure.
I understand this.
The shipyard is in geosynchronous orbit of the moon, and it's above a sea in the northern hemisphere.
Okay.
The sea itself is actually almost perfectly spherical in shape.
Well, it's probably an oblate spheroid.
And
we have concluded that it is not flat though.
No, it's almost perfectly circular in shape.
Hold on. Is that you making a correction that it's circular and not spherical?
Yes, a correction. It's a circle, not a sphere.
So it is flat.
I mean,
the planet is spherical. The ocean, as you look at it, seems to be almost illogically perfectly circular.
Oh, I understand. Okay. I thought, because I made the obloid spheroid joke, I thought that I had accidentally uncovered one of your twists, and you had to correct it. Well, it's good. I'm glad we didn't find the one flat planet in the universe.
But as we start. If everyone would like to give a little blurb about themselves and their characters, Monty, you can start.
I play Slem's Linad. He is a Drinaxian noble who has fallen out of favor with the king and is doing everything in his power to get back in favor with the king. So now he's taken a life to piracy.
All
Yo
right,
ho
April.
ho, a pirate's life for me. Who is
April,
next?
if you'd like to go next.
Yes, I'm April, and I play Andrew. She is a Drinaxian spacer who has joined with this pirate crew to serve King and Planet once again, in hopes of restoring the Empire.
Lovely. And Daniel.
Yeah, I'm playing a spy named Decluna, and if I am reading this chat correctly, in our Discord, which by the way, the link to our Discord is in the description of this video. I'm seeing that I've been made acting captain, while our captain is unfortunately stuck in the lavatory.
And the captain is going to be Sean, who will be showing up a little bit later. His character is Gani McCore, a former member of the Third Imperium Navy, who is also an accomplished novelist, administrator, and now is finally trying to live his captain dreams by being a pirate captain.
And hasn't been very good about his fiber intake, I think. Canonically is true about his character.
Actually, yes, he has been having pooping issues, so this actually fits him perfectly.
Yep. So
he literally went to go see the doctor about it.
Yep. His constipation is so bad that he had to name another crew member acting captain in the middle of a crisis.
Only we could all be so lucky. But as you're heading on to approach,
dirty looks. I will spare a cleaner the dirty looks.
For what? What'd I do?
Whatever you say, Captain.
Oh, did you want to be acting captain?
No, it's fine. Really.
Really? See, that's starting to sound real passive aggressive.
You know, Slems actually looks over and asks to see the message. There's already been a voting that's gone awry.
I will pull the message up on my workstation, which is a message from our captain who is on the toilet. I believe it's a voice message, and he's just sitting there on the toilet talking into his tablet. Should I reinstate your rank?
I can confirm.
Anyone else want any shit that we're not supposed to have?
Considering your captain, who is also your pilot, just left the helm, who's currently in control of the ship?
I was just getting ready to ask, which one of us is driving?
Piloting?
George.
Does George?
Okay. Are you gonna ask George to come up from engineering? Or are you gonna ask him to try to take over from his station in engineering?
Whatever he thinks is best.
Yeah, I bet he would choose to do it from engineering, so that he's close to all of this shit down there.
You calling down to him, he actually does respond in kind. Yeah, that would be better for me. Acting captain. What sort of approach are we making to this thing? The message said something about danger from the surface and some ancient weapon. So
yeah, from our current position, I would like to scan to see if we have a better idea where this weapon is and what kind of weapon it is. Our approach is going to follow a vector that will keep the space station between us and the weapon. Also, the strange circular lake is probably where it is, right?
No idea, Captain. Just since I don't know what we're going to be encountering here, how would you like the power systems to be distributed?
Okay, so I think we meant to have different configurations for different scenarios. Let's have a lot of our power diverted to shields and our maneuverability.
We don't have shields.
Captain, we don't have any shields.
What kind of protective? We don't have any.
Armor.
I thought we had like
We have
holographic
armor.
shields or something.
No, we have the holographic.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
George agrees. It's like, yeah, we have a holographic system to change our appearance.
Okay. So we're gonna divert a lot of our power to maneuverability. That way we can move quickly.
So to the M drive,
Yes.
which is already damaged.
Are you going to do it, or are you going to ask questions?
All right, Captain.
Let's do the M drive, and weapons. If we're making a tier list, I would like as much power into our M drive so that we are as maneuverable as possible. And second to
Without
that,
breaking it further.
yes. And second, our weapons in case we need to fire back at something.
Okay, Captain. With the engines in the state that they're currently in, I need to put more power into them to get basically less out of them until they're repaired.
Okay.
Uh,
Do what you can.
we will lose the ability to have sensors if I do this.
Okay. Can we do our scans before we move?
Sure, I can power up the scanners. Currently, we are roughly 1,000 kilometers away from the moon. The moon is in geosynchronous orbit, roughly 300 kilometers above the surface.
And can you remind me, the message said that the planet is where the ancient weapon is?
There is an ancient weapon that has caused massive death amongst the crew of the shipyard. It came from the surface.
Of the planet and not the moon.
The moon, not the planet. The planet is the gas giant.
Shit. Oh, right, okay. Yeah, let's see what kind of scanner readings we can get before we approach any further.
George will kind of pause for a second. It's like, are we talking active or passive?
Explain the difference to me.
Active, we are literally going to be, bouncing lasers and whatnot off the surface of the moon and sending signals towards the moon to try to incite images. Passive is us just taking things in.
Sorry, can you repeat that last part?
Active, we will get more.
Right, we shoot stuff at it. What was the second part? I mean, the passive part.
Passive is more like us taking pictures and readings of things that are emitting directly from the moon itself right now.
Yeah,
active will probably get a better picture, but we risk more chance of being
found out,
seen in return.
Yeah. All right. So let's stay with passive and see what we can learn with that.
All right. I will just power up the passive systems. Considering you're the sensor officer, wait, who's the No, the captain is the sensors officer.
Oh no. Can we have him? Is there a console in the toilet?
Hold on. I'm just taking a look at some of the other NPCs. Engineer pipes in. This one is capable of operating the sensors.
All right, let's see what you get. Is that their preferred pronoun? This one?
Engineer is engineer, yes.
Engineer is engineer.
That's very there's a character in Star Wars that refers to themselves as this one.
Using passive sensors, this one has detected odd anomalies on the surface of the shipyard. Also have detected at least 2 instances on the surface of structures.
What's the location on the structures? Are they both in the northern hemisphere?
Yes. We are currently nearest to the northern hemisphere anyway, so we would have to move the ship to get a better image of any other
How
portion.
can we tell how close they are to that round lake?
The lake itself is 250 kilometers in diameter.
Jesus. All right. And the structures, how close are they to the lake?
One structure is on the eastern side of the lake.
Like close to close to the lake, or like on the shore of the lake? Do you know?
On the shore.
Okay.
The other one is in the middle.
Richard, I'm looking at the drawing of this I'm making, and it's looking a whole bunch like a Death Star. Was that on purpose?
No.
Okay.
They bring up an image of the shipyards, and you can see from a distance. It's the picture is kind of grainy. You can see the big lake / sea beneath it, but you also see weird, almost like root-like shadows that are throughout the picture, almost like some sort of like weird anomaly.
Okay. Can you tell me more? You said that there were anomalies that were on the surface of the space station.
Yes, that's what engineer is showing you now.
Oh, okay. So would you agree in my assessment then that that's probably like an aftermath of the weapon being fired at it?
And engineer kind of stays quiet for a second and says, "This one believes that it could be or it could not be. What is visible within this picture suggests that some portion of the electromagnetic spectrum is currently being blocked in those areas. It could be persistent, it could not be, or our sensors could be damaged. Who knows?"
Okay. So with passive sensors, we probably can't check for life forms on the planet, right? It's just like what we can see.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay. Who do we have that's in charge of weapons?
You have Leonard and Vanessa.
Okay. Do we have any ordnance that can be fired from our present location that can destroy the structures near the lake?
Oh, well, you're gonna. So when you mention the lake, it's gonna be engineer that brings up a picture, and basically you're kind of like seeing like a Google view of the side of this lake. It seems to be a heavily forested area, but in this one section, it appears as if the forests have kind of been cut back, and you can see dozens of little structures that are kind of hugging the side of the lake. And going from the lake, there appears to be some sort of canal-like structure of water that disappears some measure into the forest.
Okay, so there probably are people living down there then.
From your readings before, the composition would be breathable to you all.
Okay, so do I have an answer on the ordnance?
And then the other picture you have of the center of the lake looks even grainier than the image of the shipyard, and it looks like there is some sort of massive crystalline structure in the middle of the lake.
Okay. Do I have an answer on the ordnance question?
The ordnance question, you have your... I believe you got a couple of nukes from the king.
That can reach, that can fire on the structures that we see, like from where we are.
You could fire that from your ship. You also have your cannons as well.
Like
Which,
laser cannons.
Yeah, except yours fires more of like radiation.
Okay.
The particle barbette. It's a high yield one.
And both of those weapons can reach from where we are now.
Hold on. Let me check for the particle barbette. I think you're fairly distant. Yes, you could shoot down to the surface of the planet.
All right.
Oh, it is very long, isn't it?
Yeah.
All right. So Andrew and Slems, what do you think?
I got no idea.
Don't poke
This is out of
don't poke the
Slim's
planetary
purview.
predator. Don't poke the planetary predator unless we have to.
The thing is, the question I have is, if we have to, whether, like, will it be too late to react? Like, if they get a chance to hit us once, like, what kind of damage would we take, and would we be able to fire back?
Unknown.
Not worth the risk.
Vim, what do you think?
It hasn't blown the space station away entirely. I mean, it's still there. So it's possible that as long as we don't provoke it, it'll leave us alone like it is presently leaving the space station alone.
All right. Except for the people on it that died, right?
Well, we don't know the exact nature of that, or under what circumstances they were fired upon, or if they were in the station or somewhere else.
Anybody with any sort of science skill can roll after seeing the pictures of the structures
Thanks.
from the pictures.
What kind of science skill do I have?
Oh, you have
Chemistry.
science chem. So technically you have science 0 for all of the others. So you can roll 2d6 plus 2.
2d6 plus 2. So 12.
All right. So in university, you've taken a lot of courses, like, to get your degree. And one of those courses did happen to focus primitive aliens and their structures. And you believe from what you can see up above of this, you're probably looking at least at the structures here on the shore. It seems to almost be medieval style buildings.
Weird.
You think maybe just from the hue of them, maybe they are some sort of carved stone, most of them?
So a primitive culture with a weapon that can fire onto something in space.
And with that 12, you have recalled from these similar classes throughout the history of the Imperium, because, this is a sort of as we know moment. The ancients themselves kind of seeded humanity and the Vogger throughout this section of the galaxy as servitor species. But across the thousands of years since they've disappeared, there have been instances in which ancient weapons and facilities have been found where it has appeared that the ancients were conducting business or scientific discoveries or even just projects and uplifting on our species that have remained despite the fact that they are now gone.
Okay. Vim, what does your gut tell you?
Nuke them from orbit. It's the only way to make sure, sir.
Yeah, I don't think we're gonna do that though. I tend to agree about your theory, Andrew, about trying not to provoke. So, let's move ahead to the space station, and keep the space station between us and that area as much as possible.
So you're going to move directly towards this space station, which is kind of hanging directly above this sea and the structure that's right in the middle of it.
Yeah. So the space station is significantly larger than us, right?
Yes.
Yes. I would like to take a vector that keeps the space station in between us and the weapon at all times.
Okay.
Unless if anyone has any dangerous sense going off right now, they have any objections, speak up. Otherwise, we're going in.
Nope. Are you saying this crew wide? So any of the other NPCs can hear?
Yeah. If there are any other last minute insights.
1 second. Oh, holy shit. All right. Cool. Billiam is gonna pipe up and it's like, Captain, acting captain. I don't know, Okuna. Anyway, from what I'm hearing about this, if we're assuming that big crystal thing in the middle of the lake is this potential weapon, and currently this thing is in a geosynchronous orbit, and like looking at the pictures, I noticed I didn't see any sort of signs of any maneuvering thrusters going off on the station, which it would need to do to stay in geosynchronous orbit in its current position, only 300 kilometers up.
You think it's being held in place?
It might be held in place, and if this weapon is stationary like this, I think it might be a bad idea to come in directly on the same sort of vector as the space station. We have no idea what sort of range this weapon might have.
It's not wrong.
Anyway, those are just my 2 creds.
I mean, what? So your worry is that we'll get hit by the weapon if we take a vector that will where the station is blocking our view. I'm still trying to understand.
I mean, Captain, I'm worried that with the picture and everything, with it's these weird shadows that seem to run through it, that the station being between us and it might not be an impediment to it.
So, okay. So you're saying we might get hit anyway.
Yes, Captain. And just imagine if you're pointing a gun directly at one target and somebody walks right in front of it. I mean, it might only be able to shoot in one direction if this thing is indeed some sort of projectile weapon.
I want to make sure we understand that when I said keeping the space station between us, I didn't mean putting us in between the space station and the weapon.
No, he understands that, and I understand.
Okay.
So basically, if it works on some kind of frequency where it can shoot through the space station,
yeah,
and literally anything is on the table, then that would be a problem.
Yeah. And I guess the question then becomes, like, what kind of range, like how close can we get to it before we're in range to be hit ourselves? Which it might not even go off, given how if we do it, if we like go in as quietly as we can.
So, April, your character, since you worked in the Merchant Marines, you know, like the Imperium and other very strong vessels have weapons known as Mason cannons, which basically can shoot these hypercharged particles that can actually go through like miles worth of like stone and planet and actually hit ships within orbits of said planet. In fact, there are a few very strong systems that use them as planetary defense. And these Mason guns generally are like capital ship killers. They can go through pretty much anything. So even barring ancient technology, there are things that can do basically what has been described.
Yeah, if it's some kind of if it's some kind of Mason weapon, it could certainly shoot. It could definitely shoot particles even smaller than the ones we shoot. At through the space station and at us
without damaging the space station. In fact,
well,
maybe
we don't
even
know
leaving.
how it damages the space station.
Yeah. Okay. So
it might be of a frequency that only cooks living beings.
Oh, how industrious. Maybe we can buy it from them. Okay, so basically we go to the station or we don't. I mean, those are our two choices, right? We go to the station or we don't.
We go to the station and hope for the best, or we deal with the weapon somehow first. If we deal with the weapon somehow first, we do have the nuclear option, or we could possibly approach on we could go into low orbit and take the skimmer down
and check it out at the surface. You mean?
I'm just saying we could go down
idea.
to the surface on a we could basically orbit the planet close enough that the weapon would not have line of sight to us, and we could go down and investigate the site.
I like that idea a lot, actually.
You get a little notification on your station there, Cluna, and it looks like the hivers are pinging you right now.
Okay, what are they saying?
Yes. Hello, Acting Captain Ukluna. We've been listening to the conversation and the readings that have been coming in. We'd like to, if you're planning on going to the surface, we would like to offer you our ideas.
Okay.
If possible, we agree with your Vogger engineer that approaching directly above what potentially might be an ancient weapon might be a poor decision. But we did see within your storage area, you do have an air raft.
Go on.
Correct?
Yes, as far as I know.
If you would let us, we can commandeer said air raft, and if you bring us, let's say, to the side, outside of the line of sight of this potential ancient weapon, me and my crew can get onto the air raft and go over to the station ourselves. It could be quite likely that whatever might trigger this ancient weapon wouldn't be triggered as by something as low powered as an air raft itself. And conceivably, if there's been quite a bit of damage to the station itself, it could take my crew potentially months to get it fixed. So the sooner we can get over there, the better to start to assess.
Okay, you understand that would bring with it a tremendous amount of risk for you.
Understood. We are well aware of the risk, but the opportunity to work on a shipyard that has been affected in such a manner, and, well, one that is representing the pinnacle of Third Imperium technology, is, well, too much of a academic um, intrigue for us to kind of deny.
Okay. All right. So let's drop the hivers off, and they can start checking that out while we do our own stuff on the surface. So
the plan is to drop the hivers off in the air raft and let them go to the shipyard?
yes, and then I would say we get an away team and we'll go down to the surface while they're checking it out.
We'll have to land on the surface.
Yeah.
Your ship should be capable of landing on the surface.
It is.
What is there? Is there a problem with that?
No, I'm just as long as we can find a place to sit down, it looks very forested.
Okay. Yeah. If we can manage to land and not crash. So. Yeah, let's do that. Let's drop them off, and then we'll go down. And I'm not sure how. You kind of put our crew together a little bit, right? Like you were the one that, if I remember, you and I hired everyone. So why don't you pick out the best people that you think would be good on a mission like this? And we'll do like a little away, away team.
You and me, Veronica and Leonard, Captain and Slums at their discretion.
All right, sounds good. Bill's the one piloting, right?
George is the one piloting.
Okay. So I'm gonna call over to George and explain to him the plan to drop the hivers off with the air raft. So I'll tell the hivers to be ready in the air raft.
How many hivers fit in an air raft?
When you call the hivers, they say they are capable of making basically a little rope and pulley system to get them all in, considering they're all going to be wearing their vac suits.
How much?
They're going to be putting all 12 of them. Basically, they're going to have some of them literally just like clipped in and drifting behind the air raft. It's not going to be going quickly.
If you don't find life support, how long are you going to have?
Well, the pictures, we did notice that several sections do appear to still have lights on. So we believe we'll be able to probably
salvage something.
Up some sort of life support.
We're hours away.
Yeah, it's again, and I will reiterate this. This is a tremendous personal risk to you, and we may not be able to get up quick enough to save you if shit goes wrong.
Understood. Worst case scenario, we will triage our numbers and attempt to send whatever we can preserve down in the air raft itself.
All right.
Though, with a shipyard of this size, there should be more than enough in the way of escape pods.
Okay. Yeah, I'm sure there's plenty of shit on that station. You can find something to fix whatever problem you run into.
That is our thought as well.
All right. Okay. So let's have George take us close enough for them to launch the air raft and for us to stay out of range of the weapon.
It's more about angle than range because we don't know its range.
Yes. Okay, so he's gonna head more easterly in kind of like in the direction of where that settlement is on the edge of the lake/sea. Okay. He's able to bring the ship into kind of like a nice geosynchronous orbit itself. but kind of off to the side of where that weapon is, and the hivers get on your air raft. They bundle themselves up, flip themselves in, and they say they are off.
I will. I'll hit the switch on the comms board and say, "Godspeed, little dudes."
They say, thank you for your help. We will attempt to complete our jobs and get this shipyard back in order.
All right, George. Let's find a spot we can land this ship safely, as close as we can to that structure down there, and still being safe.
Let's see. Who has navigation? Because George does not have navigation.
Doesn't Vim have navigation?
Have navigation? Or are we waiting on Sean?
See, this would be a great time for Sean just to bleep on.
Hi guys. Maybe you can play Sean's part for a minute.
When you ask Vim to do the navigation,
I did not ask Vim. No. I did not ask Vim to do the navigation. I said, doesn't Vim have navigation? I didn't ask Vim to do anything.
Okay, are you asking Vim if he's capable?
Yes, and I will specify that he must answer the question without touching anything.
Well, he says, well, I mean, I've never plotted the course for a ship, but I could definitely try, sir.
I'm sure you could. Why don't you stay where you are and don't touch anything, please? I assume that his navigation is not very good.
No. Well, I just rolled a 4 for him as he attempted to try to bring up a course himself.
Was he just going to try to do it in his head?
Yeah, he forgot to carry the 1.
I'm a little surprised he didn't actually pull it off.
I'm not.
Vim's kind of become our lucky rabbit's foot. Like, I know he's gotten us into a lot of shit. Like, Slems is right. Like, Vim is wholly responsible for getting us into that thing. However, he took...
Say that again, acting captain? What did you say?
No. I understand. Like, and Vim and I have talked about this, and we've agreed that he's not going to sign us up for any more death matches, right? However, he happened to be in the right place at the right time several times to save my life.
Barbie will get on the comms and say, well, considering the captain's still on the crapper...
Yeah, he's bungled up a little bit.
I can attempt to come up with a course.
Give me your confidence level for this task on a scale from 1 to 10. 10 being you are so confident that you're pissed that you're not actually navigating the ship.
7.
Good enough for me. All right.
I mean, I'm a much better astrogator than I am a navigator.
Well, what is her navigation compared to Gani Makura's?
Not as good.
Like by a lot?
That's one of the things for NPCs. I generally won't tell you their exact.
Oh, are we not supposed to know that?
Yeah. I mean, you can observe them and then kind of start to get an idea of where they are. But considering you've never seen her do navigation before, you don't have a great handle on it.
Okay. And you can't just play Sean's part for a couple minutes. Like he can call from the toilet maybe with a calculation that he's done.
I mean, honestly, I'm kind of enjoying the fact that we are like literally RPing his character having a massive shitting issues right now. You guys are making decisions.
Can I call down? Can I call down to him on the loudspeaker?
You try to, but all you hear is screaming and grunting before he cuts off the signal.
I'm going to tell our doctor that there's a man that might need medical attention in one of the toilets.
Do we?
The doctor's voice comes on, and you immediately hear more screaming and grunting in the background. And the doctor says, "I know, I'm already in here with him." And then it cuts off.
Okay. God.
Can we power up if we're safely out of arc? Can we power up sensors to not power up active sensors to give us a good sensor roll by which Barbie would have a task to navigate by?
So you guys are about 300 kilometers to the east of the shipyards.
And we're sure this thing can't like change its aim.
No, you're not.
We're kind of dealing with the curvature of the planet and hoping that the curvature of the planet gives us some measure of protection, at least from detection.
Yeah.
If you want to go even further to the east, to the point where that structure within the middle of the sea wouldn't even have like any potential line of sight, you could attempt that.
Would that be putting our Hyver friends in danger?
We're just going to be gone that much longer, but let's face it, if anything goes wrong, we're not going to be the time.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah, let's do it then.
Okay, so the plan is you want to go a little bit further around the planet.
Yeah, I think
you want to get a navigation roll to basically bring your ship in to the atmosphere and then kind of like hug it a little bit lower to approach that settlement.
Well,
right.
Andrew, I thought you meant that you wanted to do a sensor roll to like boost her navigation roll. Did I not understand that correctly?
Can we?
Yeah. You can definitely use the sensor roll to help the navigation roll.
Okay.
Sensor person.
Do you first want to move your position?
Yeah. Let's be as safe as we can about it.
Okay. All right, George. This will take your ship another couple of hours because it is a lot slower than it used to be. But you are kind of over the horizon from the structure, and now you can make a sensors roll to help the navigation.
Great. By the way, after this mission, with my power as acting captain, I would like to put in a priority order to have the ship repaired before taking any other missions.
You and me both.
Well, I don't have any money. I'm poor.
Who does the sensor roll, by the way? Who's our sensors person?
You.
Oh,
no, we had Drone do it. The engineer.
Yes, because Gani Makor is usually your sensors person.
Fuck. Okay, he has to. Okay, another acting order. Andrew, we need to hire at least a couple more crewsmen.
Yeah, the captain is doing several.
A backup pilot or a backup sensor. I think a backup pilot would be.
Yeah, that'd be good. Yeah. Pilot / navigator maybe.
Engineer does his best with the sensors, but doesn't give Barbie too much to work with here.
What is my sensor capability?
I should probably be logged into roll. Education +0. So probably 2.
Barbie does manage to plot a course down to the surface.
Oh, okay.
And George says, "Acting captain, permission to start our descent."
Granted.
Okay. Your ship begins its approach down into the atmosphere of the moon. As you head down, you can start to see flames licking the side of the viewport, and fluffy white clouds pass by.
Do we have outward speakers
for the ship?
Yeah, like audio speakers. Like,
as you enter the
can we put like Flight of the Valkyries on as we enter orbit, or as we enter the atmosphere?
I imagine you might have a couple of speakers.
You know
right
what? You know,
next
I'm just gonna
to-
hum it. I'm just gonna hum it in the cockpit. That's fine.
Okay. Yep, you enter the atmosphere, and it goes all very smoothly. There's a couple of little bumps, and you're jostled a little bit, but George manages to get you into the atmosphere, and you start to head towards where you saw the settlement. He says currently, with your in-atmosphere speed, the trip is going to take another 8 hours.
Okay.
Sorry for being
and-
late.
No worries. And
Captain,
at this
how is
moment,
your colon?
Gani McCore, yep, enters the bridge.
Hopefully by then the captain will be all sorted out.
Yes, he looks very tired, but it looks like he has a load off of his mind after all.
Off of his mind and out of his anus.
The doctor is following him, and the doctor looks very sweaty as well as he is taking off a pair of rubber gloves.
I bet you didn't think you'd be shoveling this much shit on an assignment like this.
I help where I can, he says.
All right. So,
Sorry.
Captain, I'm going to explain the situation real quick. Before I hand back the command, though, Andrew is putting together an away team to investigate a structure that we found. And I think what Andrew chose so far was that you and Slems would choose whether or not you wanted to go. And Slems, I know that you have had some problems with our captain lately, but I think very highly of your skill, and I think you should go with us.
Speaking of,
Slem starts glowing at the praise and just steps forward and volunteers, and then looks like he immediately regrets that he just volunteered.
No takesy backsies. Okay, so this is the situation. There is a lake on a planet that makes it kind of like the Death Star. In the middle of the lake, there's a crystalline structure that we assume is a weapon that can shoot through several miles of different materials and perhaps only target organic material. Our crew of hivers have launched in an air raft independently to inspect the space station. We have landed on the planet, and we are going to investigate the weapon. And with that, I hand over the command to you.
okay. Cool. Sounds good. Sounds great.
Oh, at this moment, engineer interrupts and says, Captain, acting captains, not sure who I should say.
Captain
where-
Gani McCore is in command now.
We're passing by. It looks like there are more than one lakes and whatnot within this planet, and there is another crystalline object that we just passed by down towards the horizon, but it's much smaller in size than the one that is below the shipyard.
Gotcha.
Are we being targeted?
No, but I did manage to capture an image of an indigenous life form.
Oh, is he cute?
You can see it in chat.
What? It's a dragon?
Yep, we're capturing that dragon.
How
It captures this one image. And yes, that
do we
is the
have
gas
a banana
giant in the
for
background.
scale? Do we that's cool. Do we have a banana for scale?
Is that dragon
Uh,
the ancient weapon?
I don't think it is. I think the crystalline iceberg looking thing there is the weapon, I think.
Well, it's not the one that you initially saw, because the one you initially saw on the picture would have been much larger
It's
in
bigger,
scale than
yeah.
this one.
But that's what I think where we understand. The assumption we're working on right now is that that's some kind of weapon. Probably this one probably has a lower yield, I bet.
Gotcha. But yeah,
It could be a monitoring station. It could be anything.
Could be a radio station.
could even be a boat.
We should. Do we want to land and check this one out first, Captain?
Yeah, and then you said we have people on the rafts going to the the floating space dock, right?
Yeah, they should be there already, actually.
Okay. And
It's 8 hours ago. They're either there and they found air, or they're dead.
Yeah.
Oh.
Not to be
Yeah.
morbid.
There may not be hivers anymore, actually.
did Blondie go with them?
No, it was
No,
one of
they
the
just
hivers.
took,
Oh, okay, gotcha. And we didn't send any warriors out with them?
No.
Oh.
they volunteered to go by themselves.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Wait, by themselves?
Yeah,
we
so
should-
the logic was that the air raft was very small,
Hmm.
and could sneak in undetected.
Right, but what if they steal the thing from us?
Then we'll nuke it from where we are.
They are probably weeks from getting that thing going.
Oh, okay, gotcha. All right, yeah. Let's head down to the planet.
And
Oh, Sean, we're already down there.
Oh,
we're past
sorry.
that.
I guess I'm.
You're in the atmosphere now.
Yeah, we are
So I
well
guess-
on our way.
the
Okay.
pressing question is, are we going to check out this substructure and alien creature sighting, or are we going to proceed to the main objective?
I like the
Oh,
I like the
okay.
idea of checking this out first, because it's a little. I mean, if it's smaller, it would follow that maybe the risk is a little smaller too. Like
Yeah.
like it wouldn't be as powerful.
Yeah. Plus, like, if we like, it'd be cool if we could actually get that ancient weapon out of the ship too.
The thing is huge.
Yeah, this. I mean,
But
it's
we
several.
can learn all. There may be data for us to interact with that
Yeah.
we may get to learn something.
Gotcha. And then also,
We'll science this bitch.
Yep. And how long until we touch down?
Well, if you're going to your original destination, which appears to be like a medieval settlement that is by the side of the sea/lake, it'll be another 8 hours from where you are currently.
Okay. Yeah. Yep. I'll be like, good job there.
But if we
Uh,
check out the first thing, it's here right now. We're
Yeah.
basically there.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Let's check out the first thing, then we'll check out the second thing, and then Slums. While we're landing, I'd like to talk with you in private.
Sure thing, Captain.
Okay.
And Slem salutes, but it's with the wrong hand. He doesn't know it's the wrong hand.
He
Okay.
thinks it's the right hand. He just doesn't know.
You hear George over at the comms from his engineering section. It's like, since the captain's back from his mighty push, am I in charge of landing, or is he going to take control again?
Do you want to land this thing first, sir?
Who's better at it, me or him?
You.
Yeah, I'll do it. I guess then. Then I'll talk with Slums.
Also, I made a couple of standing a couple of standing priority orders in your absence. One of them, first of all, is to get the ship repaired before we do any other missions, and the second is to hire a couple more crew to avoid this exact problem, because you do like 8 jobs, and when you're shitting your guts out in the bathroom, we don't know what to do. I think Andrew's recommendation was like a pilot navigator at the very least, a person
Gotcha.
that might be able to do both, but also having what was the other thing we had a problem with? It might have just been pilot navigator.
Well, no, it's piloting and sensors and navigation.
Yeah, but if we have a backup pilot, then that does free him up to do sensors.
Yeah, at the moment, the only problem with Gani Makor is he's a bit of a micromanager. He does a lot.
You're also spread very thin. I don't know how you don't have like 4 arms.
Right. Could I be General Grievous?
I guess if you find
I was about to
someone
say
who's
we
willing
could
to
probably
give you
find
more
someone who could.
cybernetic arms.
They could like give you some arms.
Oh, so what am I
Um,
rolling for the thing?
Barbie and engineer put their heads together, and they've kind of looked at what the sensors say. They found a clearing relatively close to this smaller lake, and they think it's big enough for the ship. You can give yourself an extra +2 to piloting to land. So for you, that's going to be 2d6 plus 6.
Okay. Don't I have +5 for piloting?
I believe you have +4. You have pilot starship 4.
Oh, okay. So 2d
And your dexterity is a 0, so it doesn't have a bonus.
Okay, so 2d6 plus 6. 16.
This is a very the ship doesn't even move.
It
Like,
was
in the
much
interior
easier
as
than
you
your
land.
mighty shit.
You land like a baby's breath on this kind of like little grassy field next to a bunch of buildings that kind of look like primitive huts that are set next to this lake. As you land from the viewport, you can see that various different nets are hung up by the shore where it looks like there are things drying there, and you can see little forms kind of like darting to and fro, like to the buildings as you land.
Do we have a xenolinguistic? Xenolinguistist?
A xenolinguist.
Yes.
April, I'm not gonna lie to you. I didn't realize that was a thing until you said it. So I doubt that I have it.
Let's
Lems
see.
chimes in. I only speak the language of love.
That is a universal language.
Your eyes.
So let's not rule that out.
Actually, I'm going to say that all of you have language skill of at least 0, except for Slems, who doesn't. Okluna, you have 2 ranks of language. Do you want that to be language xenolinguistics?
Yes. I guess I do.
Except for Slems.
This has been an emotional roller coaster. 2 seconds ago, I was sure I did not have that.
And now you are the most capable.
All right.
It's the brain damage from
Yeah.
all of the surgeries.
I got hit hard. I got hit so hard I'm speaking dragon now.
Okay. So you have all landed.
Well, who's our away party?
Blondie, I think.
Well, I think so when I was acting captain, I delegated it to Andrew to
Yeah,
choose
I
that
said.
team.
It would be the 4 of us, and then Leonard and Barbie. Unless we want to leave Leonard. Unless we want to leave Leonard to mind the. Unless we want to leave Leonard to mind the store.
Okay. So I'm going to pull you aside and very quietly say, "That's a great team you've picked. It's suddenly occurring to me that we'll be leaving Vim on the ship by himself." And
well, why don't we have Leonard mind the store and you can take them?
Okay, because I don't think we should leave him here by himself.
Okay. Well, your
Vim,
gangplank-
you're on the away team. Congrats.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Does he have any armor?
Should I grab a gun, sir?
Yes.
Yes, grab a gun, keep it in your holster. In fact, ask my permission before you fire on anything.
And keep the safety on.
Well,
Yes,
he has
sir.
had some military training. He probably knows that.
Oh, okay. You know what the safety is, right, Vim?
Yes. You know what? Hold on just a second.
He's gonna shoot you. He's had it up to here with you, and he's just about to shoot you.
Oh God, he rolled a 3.
What
Of
is-
course, sir. The safety is in knowing what to shoot, sir.
No, the safety is the thing on the gun.
That's not wrong, though. Is the thing. That's not incorrect, but it is directly incorrect.
I'll just be like, how about this, Vim? How about this? I'll hold on to your gun, and if you need it, I'll give it to you.
he even have a gun?
He takes out the shotgun that you grabbed from the ship's locker.
Okay.
Is he pointing at people?
Can I give him like a quick like primer on gun usage?
Actually,
You don't, I will.
actually, as he does kind of pass it to you, Ganny McCore, with the
Barrel
barrel
for-
kind of pointed right at you.
Oh, fuck.
So, I'm
Here
just like,
you go.
Jesus. I'm just like, Jesus. I'll be like, okay, Vim, first rule of gun safety. Always point the barrel at the ground. Never point it at anybody.
Unless you want to shoot
Unless-
something.
Yeah.
That makes sense, sir.
Second rule of gun safety. This is the safety right here. This, if you have this triggered, it means your gun won't fire.
You need to disengage it before you try to shoot something.
He says, "Oh, that's usually where I hung my cred chip from."
Yeah, don't do that anymore.
Why were you hanging cred chips from your gun?
It's how I was first taught how to use a gun, sir.
By who?
My brother, sir.
Oh. How's he doing?
Does your brother not like you very much?
He's dead, sir.
Oh, that explains it.
Well, okay. Wait. So, remind me real quick when we had Vim out in the fight to the death, was he using a sword or a gun?
I don't think he was using anything.
I think he used his sword.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Vim, would you be more comfortable with a sword?
I've had a few more lessons in a sword than a gun.
Yeah, let's do a sword instead.
Yep.
You know what? It's perfect because I have a sword too. We'll be sword bros.
Yes, sir.
I'm sure Leonard can lend you something since he's staying.
Leonard will kind of take Vim under his wing and say, "Follow me, son."
Leonard's
Let's go
staying?
look at all of my pretty toys.
Oh no. He's taking him to his room to pick out a sword.
Okay, gotcha.
He
And
brought a
then-
lot with him.
And when we eventually make it down to the planet, I do want to like kind of hang back with Slums and talk
Okay,
with them.
so you've landed now.
Mm-hmm.
You managed to land the ship.
All right. Yep. I'll put on the intercom. Away team. Docking. Like a landing hatch. 5 minutes.
Okay, so
I will go
who
straight there.
officially, so the away team is you four, and who else? Vim and Vanessa?
Barbie, I think is what Andrew said.
Vanessa.
Oh, okay.
Vanessa. Heavy.
It's going to take me a long time to tell the difference between Barbie and Vanessa, I think.
Vanessa says, "You want me in my battle dress?"
Yes, please.
All right, you got it, sir. Okay. So are you hanging back on the bridge and making Slems hang back?
Well, aren't we going down too, or no?
Yeah, but you wanted
Oh.
to talk to him and everybody's filing out. So
Oh, yeah, that's right. Sorry. Yeah. So I'll be like, okay, Slems, I want to apologize.
What do you want to apologize for, Captain?
Okay, so here's the thing. Like, while I'm not happy that you disobeyed a direct order, you also proved your worth during during that tournament thing, and I think because it was like my first direct order that was disobeyed, I think I took it out more harshly on you than I should have. And also, I think I'm using you wrong. And I want you to be honest with me and correct me if I'm wrong here, but I feel like you chafe under strict ruling, right? I feel like you're more of a free spirit. You kind of like to do your own thing.
Captain, I was only acting in my self-interests.
Right. I
The
understand.
self-interests of the crew
Right.
wanted us all to survive.
But I feel like this is what so you have more knowledge of being a noble than I do, and I feel like you also kind of, from what I've know of you, you're kind of good at influencing people, right?
wearing a top hat.
I do look very good at parties, if that's what you're saying.
So I want to offer you. I want to offer you like a new kind of thing. We need a spy master on this ship. We don't have one. I want you. I want you to
You're in
be.
security now.
I want
And,
you.
and remember, Daniel, you're not in the room right now.
You love me sound like Tina.
I was trying to sound like Tina.
But anyway,
what's that other sound she makes?
yeah. But yeah, Gani's saying. But anyway, though, here's the thing: we need a spy master. I'm not up to it. I'm too. I don't know.
You're not a fucking spy.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I mean, you know.
Never mind. I can't hear this. I'm at my reported station, not hearing any of this.
Gotcha. It's like I don't have the head for it. I feel like you do. So I'm gonna give you free reign, as long as it doesn't hurt us, to kill, fuck whoever, as long as it helps us out in Drinax.
Is that what being a spy master is?
Well, I mean, essentially, I'm kind of like, look, I want you to kind of like cultivate like a spy network for us, like influence people and whatnot. I kind of want him to be like James Bond on this.
Or a Varys?
Yeah, and I'm kind of giving him like, you know, like you'll kind of be outside the.
You can have your little birds.
Yeah, and I'm kind of like, you know, you won't like, and I'll try not to have too much, you know, like I'll let you kind of operate independently on this. If that's okay with you.
Wait 1 second.
I don't know. I feel like that's I don't know. I feel like maybe I'm wrong on this. I say, but like I don't know. Like am I judging you? I don't know. I just want to make sure like we're using your strengths. You know what I mean? And I feel like having you on security just I don't know.
What?
Captain, I don't know the first thing about being a spy, but for you, I'll try. And then he pauses and he looks around, and then he puts an arm around you, and he says, "Captain, let's keep this conversation between you and me."
Sounds good. But yeah,
you know, like, as first order as your spy master, let's keep this conversation between the two of us.
I'll say sound good. I was like, you know, if you get agents in like other navies and militaries and stuff like that, that would be great. If we could like know what everyone else is doing.
Oh, you have this is not slums, but you have way too much. You expect too much of them.
Well, right, but that's why I'm also kind of like letting slums do this, operate independently, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, does that interest you though?
Yeah. We did the whole thing. Let's keep the conversation between you and me.
Okay, I don't know.
Wink, nudge, nudge. Say no more.
So here's a question for you, Monty. I'll be honest, like even though we've been playing a long time, I still can't get a read on your character. Do I have the correct read on them right now, or
it's
no?
funny because I'm pretty sure Slums doesn't have a correct read on his character.
There you go.
Yeah, Slems is kind of out of his element, so he is trying to reinvent the wheel, but he doesn't know how to make a wheel. So.
I would be interested to know if 10 years ago, if you went back in time and told Slems that he would end up on a pirate ship, what his response would be.
I also think that's why like Gani is like thinks like, oh, you know, he's a free spirit, you know, like he's, you know, because like how like he's saluting with the wrong hand and everything. Gani kind of, I feel like Gani feels like it's more of a mocking thing, so it's kind of like, you know, like I might be like too strict with this guy. I feel like letting him kind of like do his own thing maybe as like a free spirit might work. You know what I mean?
Well, you're our new spy master, so let's hope it works out.
All right. Well,
I'm looking forward to
okay.
this.
you all assemble at the airlock.
When
the
Akluna
last-
finds out, the literal professional spy finds out that you didn't pick him to be spy master.
Wait, you are a spy? Fuck, I forgot about that.
What do
Yeah,
you,
he's head of
it's fine.
security.
what do you
He's-
think? Well, I could do both. Gani McCord is like 8 different jobs.
No, I forgot. No, I as a player forgot you were a spy.
It's my whole thing.
Uh,
I'm a spy, and I'm nearly crippled. Those are my 2 like defining characteristics.
Okay, how
No.
about
You
No,
already
no,
made
no.
this. You already made this. You already had this conversation. You can't take this away from Slems.
You have to keep it between the 2 of us,
Yeah.
Captain.
Right, but I meant like
Your first order, your first suggestion from your spy master.
It's to shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
So you all assemble at the airlock and down to your gangway, and the last one there is going to be Vanessa. She comes fully armored up, like so, and she
Damn.
nods to you all, and then her faceplate comes down, revealing the skull right over her face.
Gonna get spooked for a second. It's like, oh, gee, it's just you. Okay, cool.
She says, "All right, we dealing with these natives?"
Well,
Oh my goodness.
I mean, let's try to be like diplomatic at first.
Let's go with the prime directive.
Yeah.
There are 3 figures that have assembled outside the ship. You have a feed of that on the screen right by
Like
the airlock.
the airlock feed.
Yes,
Captain, this might be
they look like this.
this might be a good opportunity to put our best foot forward and
Okay.
choose our representative to this new species carefully.
Andrew, you're a merchant, right?
Yeah, but Akluna speaks their language better, probably.
Oh,
I am
He
I am
translate
suddenly
for
a
me.
xenolinguist.
Well,
okay,
actually,
yeah.
with you being a spy for the Third Imperium, it does kind of make sense that you were good with languages.
Yeah, like
Fuck,
CIA
I
or
forgot.
whatever.
I can't.
I'm sorry, Richard. What did you say my former profession was again?
Well, I mean, like, I
Sean,
feel like
Sean, why do you think I was making so much noise when you made him your fucking spy master?
I also hope you understand that Slems is going to be very diligent in his spy master network, but
Yeah.
unfortunately
probably
will
be
not
great
be
at it.
able to let you know any of his sources, and everything will probably be made up.
Yeah, he'll probably be great at it, and it doesn't mean that I stop being a spy. So
yeah. Fuck. Well, I don't know,
way to intimately know your fucking crew.
Well,
All right,
So,
so Captain, I think I should probably be the one to interact with the natives first.
okay, yeah. I'll be like, okay, remember the universal greeting. Ba weep grana weep ninibong.
That's not a language I recognize, Captain. What does that mean?
Oh, it's just the universal greeting.
You got to say it, Daniel. That's Captain's orders.
I'm gonna go with a language that I know.
All right. Are you all wearing suits with helmets on? Are you breathing recycled air? Or are you breathing the air outside?
We said that the
Let's try the air outside.
Okay.
Save my air.
And that's the same for all of you?
well, did we determine that it was breathable air, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I'll not wear a mask. I don't want to freak out the natives.
Okay. Sean?
They'll just have to look at my horrifically scarred face.
Yes.
So you're not wearing a helmet either?
No, I'll wear a helmet.
Okay. So you're wearing a helmet and breathing recycled air?
Yes.
Okay. And Slems?
I'm wearing my suit, but I'm not wearing the helmet.
Grav belt.
Hell yeah, I have my grav belt.
Okay, so the only two wearing helmets are going to be Vanessa and the captain.
Is Vim wearing a helmet?
He looks to you in guidance and then doesn't wear a helmet.
Oh boy. Okay.
Okay. Getting out, the temperature is kind of like a balmy, like 74 degrees out. There's a light breeze to the air. The actual air itself, you can smell notes of evergreen and lilac. You also see these three aliens in front of you, and you realize that they are quite diminutive in size. The largest one, which you can see there's a smaller one off to the far right, and then that one is holding an even smaller one. They're only about 4 feet tall. They look at you questioningly as you approach. None of them appear to be holding any tools in their hands, and they are not making any threatening movements.
Okay. Can I peacefully greet them?
Okay. Roll me 2d6 plus 4 for your xeno-linguistic skill. All right. You approach them, and you try to use your body language and kind of like wide open movements to convey your own non-hostility.
Okay.
You start to kind of cycle through a bunch of different kind of little hellos of different indigenous cultures that you've kind of, you've had a smattering of lessons for the Trojan Reach, trying to see if there is a look of recognition in their eyes at any of them. And this takes you about 20 minutes as everyone else is just kind of watching on.
They just stand there and watch me cycle through hellos for 20 minutes.
Yeah, basically. Well, unless someone wants to interject as you're attempting to kind of.
I'm just surprised that they stuck around for that long and didn't just go home.
No. They're obviously intelligent. They look like they're trying to figure out what you're saying. You can even see you could even see signs from nearby huts. Some other aliens of the same species kind of like looking out every once in a while, kind of like watching to see what's happening. And eventually at the end of the 20 minutes, you kind of get on to this weird sort of like pidgin dialect that you once heard of at the end of one of your lessons, from kind of like a drunken tale from like from a pilot like 3,000 years ago that was in just kind of like the back notes section of one of your textbooks, and they kind of latch on to it and they respond in kind. The equivalent of hello, this is ours, and they point to the village.
Okay. I'm going to introduce myself, and would I be correct in assuming that the more I speak with them in this dialect, the easier it will be for me to understand and speak to them?
Yes.
Okay.
It should be, yeah.
All right. So
you're gonna start to get the gist of what they're saying, if not the specifics.
Okay. I'm gonna introduce myself, and then introduce the crew that's with me.
What order of operations are you giving introductions?
I'm going to introduce Gani McCore first as our captain. And then it doesn't really. Okay, yeah. So I will. Yeah, I'll introduce Gani McCore first, and then the rest randomly. I'll say Andrew, Slems, Vim, and then when I introduce Vanessa, I will explain that the armor she's wearing is for our protection, but that we are non-violent.
Okay. After your order, after you introduce everybody, they turn to Vanessa, and they seem to be addressing her as the eldest one. Introduces first the smallest one, then introduces the one that is nearly his height, that's holding the smallest, and then introduces himself. And then still
I think
now
she's our mama.
Now still facing Vanessa, they say, our place, we have protection too. Are you friend or foe?
We are friend.
They seem to relax, and the second tallest, which they introduce themselves as Rish, says, please remain friend.
Okay, I'll answer in the affirmative. I'll just say okay. Understood.
Sounds good.
They kind of wave you forward and gesture for you to follow them.
Okay. I will follow.
Okay. They lead you through this path that they have in the middle of this little village of the huts, and they lead you to a slightly larger structure in the middle, which actually has some measure of stone foundations to it. Leading you in, there are several large fires that are going on in pit cairns in the middle of the floor. And above these fires, there are these large stone tables, which have it looks like a variety of fish and meat that is cooking. There are about a dozen of these alien creatures kind of working at the fish and the meat, and they are every once in a while taking off or taking on a piece and putting them in various bowls to the side. There are pillows that have been put out. They look like they have been done with some sort of soft feather fur-like material. And they gesture for you all to sit down on one of the pillows.
I take a seat.
Okay. I'll take a seat and also thank them for their hospitality.
I'm gonna also mimic it, but scream it, like yell it really loud, like how inconsiderate people do it.
Yeah.
They nod as well, and they say something akin to, "This is the way that we conduct with new ones. Listen to the histories." And what looks to be like an older member of their group, a bit shorter than the first one that was with this initial three, comes forward and starts to speak fairly rapidly as a bunch more of the aliens all sit down next to you all. You're all given a bowl of something to eat, and they kind of start eating as well.
Okay. I will thank the person that gives me the bowl, and then I will join them in eating.
Yep, I'll also thank the person.
Can I
Okay.
share the I'll share the word for thank you with the crew as well. That way you guys can I'll teach the word to you so you know how to say it.
Cool.
Trying to follow along as is. So
Roll me xenolinguistics one more time, because this guy's going at more of like,
Conversational.
Conversational native speaker right now. So this is going to be hard for you to
13.
keep up. Okay. So this individual seems to, at first, you believe he's talking about the history of his tribe, of the growth of the different members who came into the tribe, the development and whatnot. But kind of halfway through listening, you realize you had it wrong. This old man or woman, it's hard for you to tell at the moment, but they are actually talking about the history of their entire species and this moon. And you realize that when they were talking about a caretaker, you believe that they're literally talking about ancients taking them from a different place and plonking them down here for some purpose. Something that you're not sure if you're getting the translation right, but you think it's something akin to the grand design. And there seems to be, as...
Are we all picking up on this?
I think
No,
I'm
right now,
am I translating as he's...
You can if you want to.
probably having to summarize as quick as he's going.
Yeah.
Yes.
How about go ahead.
If you're getting the gist right, there is some sort of time frame that they've been following and that they're progressing along. And apparently, according to the time frame, something should be occurring according to the ancients' wants within the next 1,035 days. And you get the gist from the explanation from this elder. This project has been ongoing for several 100,000 years. Shortly before the ancients disappeared. And you said you got a 13? Okay. So with a 13, as this elder is making this this proclamation, several times as they're kind of detailing the history, you hear a little mention of enemies arising and then enemies being struck down.
Are they referring to this as like a prophetic thing?
But in the story, it's never them that strike down the enemies. Just they are taken care of once they appear.
They're talking about their gun.
Yeah.
I gesture to the weapon in the sky. That protects you?
You're just pointing up to them?
Yeah.
Are
the crystalline structure, I think, is what he's pointing at.
So towards the lake you're pointing?
Yeah.
How are you translating this, Ukluna?
I will say...
Or attempting to translate.
So
it's not going to be exactly one-to-one.
I'll ask if by weapon they mean the large crystal in the lake.
Oh, they didn't say weapon. They said that their enemies were struck down.
Okay, well, I'll ask him if the large crystal in the lake is the one striking enemies down.
And you're directing this to the elder or the one who took you in.
Yes. The elder.
The elder.
Because at the moment the elder is still speaking.
Oh. Okay. So I'm gonna shush Slems, and we're gonna wait for the elder to be finished.
Okay. Yeah, I was just curious if you were interrupting or not.
We are not interrupting.
All right.
Old people fucking love to hear themselves talk. We are not interrupting.
The elder gets to the end of their story after declaring the 1,035 days it is coming, and says that they wish friends much prosperity and the capability of living in wisdom and peace. For if they do not, they will no longer be friends.
Fair enough.
I'll answer that those are values that we share. Those values are our values.
The elder nods, and two other members of their group kind of take the elder off to the side, where they are placed on a stack of pillows and given something to eat.
Go to sleep, Mima.
We need to get you to bed.
Yeah.
So the people remaining, are they? Do they look like they are ready to have a conversation?
Yeah, the ones who originally met with you all are there.
Okay, so
So other than Rish, there is also Cash, and they introduce the youngest one as their offspring, Vash.
So Rish is the one that greeted us off the ship, right?
That Cash introduced you.
Okay. So I'm going to ask. I'm going to talk to Cash then.
Mm-hmm.
And first I'm going to thank them for sharing the prolific history that they've shared with us. It was a pleasure to hear it.
Cash thanks you for listening. You notice at this point Cash has nearly finished their bowl of food. The food itself, it tasted all right. It kind of tasted like a fishy stew. And there's just a little bit of remnant of the bowl on the bottom. And then looking at you expectantly, Cash offers you their bowl and then puts out their hand to you.
Okay, I'll take their bowl and I'll hand my bowl to them.
Okay. Cash brings the bowl to their mouth and consumes the remnant of your bowl. They didn't give you any utensils, so if you were taking the stew, you were basically drinking from it.
Yeah. I'll do the same.
Okay. Make me a roll, please.
To see if I choke on the stew.
I ate so many of those for Thanksgiving.
This is gonna be an endurance check, so this is gonna be 2d6 minus 1.
Oh God. 8.
You, for just a second, feel like you have a little bit of brain fog.
Oh, okay.
Cash kind of looks at you for a second. And actually gives you, for the first time ever, what you recognize to be like a human expression of like a human smile. You haven't seen any of these aliens smile before.
Okay.
And he responds in like Imperium Common. It's like, thank you for sharing with me.
How are you?
I give you the gift of my tongue, as you give me the gift of yours.
That is fucking cool. I've never seen anything like this before.
As Cash does this, all the other members of your group are also from other aliens given bowls, if you so wish to choose to drink. And those of you who grab a bowl from an alien, they will attempt to grab your bowl.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay, so you're taking off your helmet at this point.
Yeah.
Okay, so far
Gotcha.
there's only one person so far who has not participated in anything, and it's Vanessa, who's just kind of been standing guard and just kind of watching as this all goes down. She hasn't let the skull helmet faceplate down, so she's just kind of been standing there menacingly.
Vanessa, don't be rude. No, I'm just kidding.
Can I tell Vanessa what the purpose of the stew is, and tell her that she'll be able to understand them?
You hear kind of like in your comlink in your ear, her voice buzz, and you say, "That's great, Ukuna. You could take in the alien gunk that changes your brain. I'll just listen to what you guys have to say about what they're saying."
Suit yourself.
So wait, you can understand them now?
Cash looks towards you and says, "Well, I can understand you as well."
So you could understand us the whole time?
Well, not until
No,
we traded the soup.
Yes, not until we exchanged our bowls.
Oh.
Our bowls, not our bowels. Gani McCord.
Right, I got that.
Sorry, our captain had an apocalyptic problem with constipation earlier.
You know, we don't have to tell them everything.
Cash says, a balanced diet is an important diet.
That's exactly what our doctor said.
So, who all is participating in this? Just so I could keep track.
Slems is not, after the comments made by our ironclad warrior.
After Vanessa.
Mm-hmm.
Can I ask
Okay.
Cash if it is seen offensive by his people if we don't take the stew? I'll just explain that I'm unfamiliar with their customs and I don't want to offend them.
It's considered polite, but not necessarily offensive.
Would it be okay if a couple of my compatriots didn't drink the stew?
Of course, we are not forcing you to do anything.
I'll also explain to Vim that drinking the stew.
Oh, he already drank it.
Okay, all right, okay.
He was the first one to drink.
It turns out Vim didn't eat breakfast, so he was like really hungry.
I mean, he watched you do it, and then he was like, "Oh, cool, new ability."
Well,
brainworms.
it's kind of a comfort to know that if I ever die of poisoning just from drinking something I shouldn't, that Vim will probably go down with me.
We'll immediately have someone else to confirm our poisoning suspicions.
Yeah.
Hey, is this poison? Vim, try this
Yeah.
out.
He's already just foaming in the corner.
Did we say that Andrew is taking the stew?
So I asked that question before I took the stew. Do I already understand them?
So you understand Cash, who is speaking in basically your language right now.
Oh.
But you still don't understand the other aliens who are speaking to each other.
Oh.
Oh, so this only works with one person.
No. So Cash now has the ability to.
Oh, because I know our language and I traded it with him.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Well,
okay, I understand.
Then I will. I will give it a shot.
Okay. Yeah, basically every alien that does this with you, they will also now have a comprehension of your language.
Lovely.
Okay.
And then I will assist.
Okay, so you exchange with Rish, and Rish says, "Thank you for your gift. I hope you enjoy mine."
Well, let's
All right.
down the hatch.
Well, now we all know each other's languages. Shit.
Except for
Well, yeah.
Slems and Vanessa.
I'll explain that Vanessa is one of our warriors, and she's very paranoid, and that Slems is just an idiot.
Cash, we'll pause for a second. Warrior?
Uh-oh.
Yeah. I mentioned when we met that she was here for our protection. When we explore.
Ah.
Yeah.
When you said protection, you meant more as in caregiver. You
Uh,
have.
I'm going to interject and say, she's our mom. And then nudge Akluna. No warriors here.
I mean, I do understand what warrior means now.
Yeah, he's an idiot. I'm sorry. I tried to tell you he doesn't understand what's happening here. Just ignore him. When our people explore, we very rarely come across people so peaceful, and so it is usually necessary for us to travel with protection. We obviously don't need it here because you guys are so peaceful.
Well, I would make sure that you stay peaceful here.
You'll have no trouble from us.
Well, it's more trouble for your people.
You mentioned something about that when I was listening to your histories. Your elder said that when enemies would come, that they would be destroyed. They'd be struck down by something. Did he mean the crystalline structures that we saw in the lake on the way here?
They are one implement of what the creators put here.
Have you had many enemies that have been struck down?
To my knowledge, I haven't ever witnessed any.
Are there other tribes like yours around the planet?
Usually we don't go out to travel. Our elders do make an exchange every few years or so.
So there are more of you.
Yes, we are self-sustaining. And for those elements that we need, one of the helpers sends things along.
What do you mean by helper? Just like an assistant, like a servant.
Ash pauses. They are larger. They have wings.
That must have been one of the creatures that we saw on our way in. I bet. Are they sentient?
They're descended from the creators. According to the elders, they were once members of the creators themselves who were struck down for their impudence and turned into servitors.
Huh. Do you know anything about a giant space station around your planet?
I'm sorry, I might now understand your language, but that doesn't necessarily mean I understand all of the concepts behind it.
Do you travel into space? Do you leave the planet and travel into space?
Leave the planet?
Yeah, okay, I'm starting to understand where this is going.
Take that as a no.
Yeah.
The universe is our planets, the great purple world, and of course, the blue sun. That is the universe. Do you not come from the purple world?
I'm going to give Gani Makur a look. and say, I'm, oh God, how do I even say this? Because he speaks our language. Captain, I'm not sure where to tell them we're from, because I'm familiar with their customs and their respective religions, and I'm not sure how much damage we'd be doing.
Just to remind you all, they live in a star system with the Oort cloud that is so dense that no stars are visible
Right.
outside of it.
Yeah. Do your what do they call them?
Creators.
Your caretakers, right?
The creators?
Yeah. Do they have rules for what you are supposed to believe in general about your world? Did they give you rules on how to live and what to think, what to believe?
No, we have been allowed to develop how we wish. All we know is that our destiny will come true in 1,035 days.
Right. Okay. So I'm going to explain something to you that might come as a shock, but I think after that shock wears off, you'll be really excited about it.
Wait a moment. Did you not say something about the creators bringing you here? Or did I?
Yes. According to the knowledge they bestowed to us, they brought us to this world, we assume, from the Purple World.
They didn't tell you explicitly that they came from the Purple World? Or is that something you just assumed?
Well, from what else is
what
there
else could there
besides
be,
the
right?
Purple World
Right.
and the sun?
What if I told you that your creators came from something further away than the Purple World?
But there is nothing further than that.
What if your assumption about that is incorrect? What if there is something else?
Then I suppose there is something further else.
Is the hut that we're in? Is the floor like? Are we like on a dirt floor or?
They're closer to the pit cairns. It's stone, but the section that you're in is like packed earth.
Okay, so I can I draw on the ground with my finger?
Sure. It's a little hard to do, but you can manage.
Okay. So I'm going to draw their gas giant, and then I'm going to say this is the purple planet, and then I'm going to draw the moon. I'm going to say this is where you live, and then around all of it, I'm going to draw a circle and say that this is a barrier that makes it very hard to see past it. But there are things on the other side of this barrier.
Interesting.
So we call that space.
Like a wall.
Yeah, it is not dissimilar from a wall. You can travel through it. It's more porous than a wall. It's actually kind of difficult to travel through it. It was very dangerous for us to get here, but you can travel through it.
Like a net.
Yeah.
Mm.
So
there are holes to get through.
Right. We come from a vehicle that can pass through that wall and travel. There are other planets like yours further away from here, and we come from a vessel that allows us to travel in between those planets. And no one knows that you're here, by the way, because of this wall around you, you've become hidden from the rest of the known universe.
Cash's eyes widen, and he says,
There's going to be some existential dread here, and I'm very sorry, but the sooner you get past it, you're gonna you will get excited after this, I promise.
And Cash's ears kind of perk up a little bit. You say it can leave our world.
Yeah, you could. Yes, you could learn how.
Yep.
Do you want to leave?
He leans forward, and he says, "You must get it out of here as soon as possible." His ears are twitching.
What do you mean?
A helper is arriving. The creators made them serve us. They were disobedient. But if they could get off of this world, you guys start to hear at the edge of your hearing a very faint roaring that appears to be getting louder.
Wow,
and that is where we're going to end the session.
That's a pretty good cliffhanger, actually.
Agree.
That was pretty good. All right, cool. Well, that'll be the end of our session. I think actually, if you're still here, by the way, if you're still following along, let us know what you thought in the comments about our adventures today in making first contact with an alien race. I think tomorrow I might play some Elite Dangerous on stream. If you don't know what Elite Dangerous is, just show up at 7. I'll talk about it. It'll be a lot of fun. Otherwise, that's the end of the 20th episode of Gungans and Dragons. We'll do the same thing next week, next Sunday at 7.